Okay, see if you guys can spot this one. It's from a little known movie from the early 90s. Ikki-okki-yo, cowboy. Ikki-okki-yo-hoo.
Is it City Slickers?
Ikki-okki-yo, cowboy, cowboy, cowboy.
Oh no,
under the moon.
no, Three Amigos.
I was riding my horse.
No?
Unforgiven.
By the Rio Grande.
Not City Slickers?
And all of them coyotes singing
City Slickers
in a
2.
prairie symphony.
Home Alone?
I was riding my horse
E.T.
down by the Rio Grande. When I seen me a cowboy, cowboy, cowboy riding
Cowboys and aliens.
towards me. There's more to it, but that's
Oh, okay.
All right, who's in? Wait. Who's in the movie?
Lloyd Bridges
Lloyd Bridges.
has a small part in it.
Lloyd Bridges.
Meg Ryan has a role in it.
Is it the one with Charlie Sheen?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Nope.
No, the one where he's a Navy pilot.
Oh, that's Hot Shots.
Hot Shot, not Hot Shots.
Not Hot Shots.
Part two.
Not Hot Deux.
Lloyd Bridges.
That's not the main character of the movie.
Roots.
Roots. No.
Early 90s.
I think it's
Lawnmower
1990 actually.
Man. Oh, okay. I'm at a loss.
I'm stumped.
Because I'm thinking of Meg Ryan movies now.
Main star is Tom Hanks.
Well, yeah, Meg Ryan was in it, so
Who actually sings that song I just sang in the movie.
Splash.
No, either thinking
That was like 80, that was like 83.
You Got Mail.
No.
Later 90s.
How many movies were they in together?
Sleepless in Seattle.
You Got Mail.
You've Got Mail. And
This is the first one they're in together.
Joe and the Volcano.
Joe Goes Volcano.
Joe Busts the Volcano.
Love that movie.
I know I said
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
Yeah, he sings it on the raft. Yeah.
It's got that weird symbol throughout the whole movie too. Some art director had went to town with that.
We saw that at the drive-in, Santee Drive-in. Took the kids, got the minivan out, loaded up on snacks, and I think that was the last movie to go off, and everyone was sleeping. I go, all right, this movie sucks. So
it's got its moments that are really neat, and then but like when you're a kid and watch it, you're like, oh, this isn't too bad. But yeah, you walk back and watch it, you're like, this movie sucks.
I think my wife was sleeping, the kids were sleeping. I loaded up the van, got home, and I went, well, I thought we were at the movies. I go, they were done.
They blew up the volcano. Everybody died. He's now cast away.
Sorry, Tom. I love all your work, but that movie blew.
It was one of those Facebook posts maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago where it was talking about how nice of a guy Tom Hanks is, and they don't say what movie it was, but there have been fans that have walked up to him and said, I paid this amount to go see that crappy movie you were in, and then he'll actually take out his wallet and give you the money that you paid to see that movie.
Because he's Tom Hanks. He's too nice.
Yeah. It made me wonder like what film it was, because he definitely has made a couple that were pretty bad.
Oh,
Just the Burbs wasn't great.
I like The Burbs. I think it's an understated
it's okay.
classic. Huh?
It's okay.
I just found out that my dad was there in Savannah, Georgia for the filming of Forrest Gump.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, like I just learned this fact out just the other day. So and at the time, my dad thought they were filming something called Swamp Thing, which I just find to be hilarious.
Is your dad Lieutenant
They
Dan?
already made that movie.
No.
It's not Lieutenant Dan.
He's
Now, if you guys ever read that fan theory where none of it ever happened?
Oh, the Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that actually, because he is mentally challenged.
that's sad. That's a really depressed. Like people,
It's a depressing theory, yeah. But like, it's just because like if you look at all the people,
I'm just gonna say whoever came up
talking
with
to.
that can rot in hell.
Well, it's
the
the whole St. Elsewhere thing, because every theory since St. Elsewhere, if you don't know familiar with St. Elsewhere, it was in there was a young child who was autistic, and it was all about in a snow globe, right at the end, and so it's like it never really happened or whatever it was. So I mean, Lost. That was a theory with Lost. That was a theory with a lot of stuff. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's just that, like, because if you look at every story he tells and you look at the character that's sitting on the bench next to him, he is telling a story that they can relate to. And it makes total sense when you think about it that way. You know, when he's talking about Vietnam, he's talking to an older gentleman who's probably a vet. And when he's talking about civil rights, he's talking to a young black lady. Like, it's like everything is parallel to the person sitting to his right. And you're like, oh, that's interesting.
So Jenny never existed.
So Jenny existed, but just not.
No, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting theory. There's a bunch of them.
It makes me mad, though. Makes me really mad.
So Sally Field never had to sleep with Bernard.
It debases him. It takes the power away from Forrest.
That's Bernard from Lost. You know that.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Well, I'd like to see him talking to a computer at the end. You know. By the way, you know what's crazier? Okay, I saw this today on campus. I'm walking by, and this is a pretty common place thing. I don't see a lot of older people doing it, but a lot of youngins out there seem to be doing this thing where they are just having an open speakerphone conversation on a park bench with their phone, just out in public. and when you look at them, they have this faraway look in their eye. And all of a sudden they just start talking randomly, and you're like, huh, like that's weird.
There's a great episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy sitting at a table in a restaurant talking on a speakerphone. So Larry David sits down to the next table and just starts talking to himself. So the guy on the speakerphone gets mad. He's like, I'm just having a conversation. That's if you've never seen Curb Your Enthusiasm,
yeah,
you have to watch it. It's
God
so
bless
funny.
Like Jay actually got a little testy at me during Comic-Con because I always have a tune in my head constantly. And there was some point where we were walking at Comic-Con this year, and I just started going. You know, and I kept doing it over and over again, and he got it stuck in his head, and then it's just like two idiots walking through Comic-Con going, like, he's just like, damn you, Nick.
What if that's the circus music of like 100 years from now, right? The do is like actually replaced by
Larry David.
Anyway, food for thought.
Maybe because it gets it like Cindy, I'll just start humming something, and then about 20 minutes later she goes, "Were you singing that?" I go, "No, I wasn't," but I was.
Yeah, that's some of the cruelest jokes. Just whistle one or two bars of any song, and it will implant in that person's head, and then just watch them just slowly take over the where they start doing it.
I have one cure for the earworm, and it has to be for each person. But you got to have like a code breaker song that you can just bust into and like just work that worm out. You know, like another song that you can remember in your head. You know, like ROCK in the USA. And then after a while,
was that just John Cougar, or was that John Cougar Mellencamp?
I think that was John Cougar Mellencamp. Yeah, I think that was back in the day when he was.
I'm not a big fan of John Cougar.
Well,
yeah, like my sister saw him in concert years ago, and John Fogerty opened for him. And my sister called me on the phone going, "That was the worst idea ever." It's like, you can't follow John Fogerty. It's like, he's playing all these Cretan songs, and the whole audience is all pumped and singing along, and then you come out with Pink Houses, and you're kind of like, yeah, okay. You know, it's just not the same.
He is his own kind of, I think, you know, I don't know. There are times in which I like some Mellencamp in my day. He's a good
what's that song?
advocate here of Indiana.
I need a lover that doesn't drive me crazy. What's that song? How I love it up until he starts singing. Maybe it's his voice. I don't know what it is.
What about the story about Jack and Diane?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
How about paper? What is that? Paper and Fire. What about that song?
I don't know.
No. Yeah.
That's actually a title of a song. Paper and Fire.
I don't know.
Well, Paper
and Fire or something.
You guys don't say that around your work, do you?
No, that's a nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare.
We got paper and fire. No.
Right. I never play that song around here. So
I did have one complaint about my wife, and I was questioning.
Did you say life or wife?
both.
Well, it's the same.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I was hesitating bringing this up. She didn't know I'm going to talk about it, but she likes to do all these games online, and she pays. Like I'll see on I'll go on my email. I go, why did you pay? Don't you do anything that is free? Because I'll play poker, and I'm up to $1 billion in chips. I've never paid a dime for it. Now you have to, if you lose, you have to replenish the game. You have to buy the chips. I've never had to do it.
Nice.
Well, she's playing this new game where it's like a crossword puzzle, but there's no clues. It doesn't like say 5 across is a 5-letter word for whatever.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I started noticing things like $1.99, $1.99. I'm like going, she goes, well, I couldn't figure it out. I go, you can probably just go online.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There's probably a scrambler for the words. So I found it. I said, there you are. So I'll be on my computer. She's on her iPad doing that. Can you look up? I go, I'm doing something. So now she's getting mad at me that I'm not stopping right away to help her cheat to solve this game. But yet I solved it for her. So she would stop spending money on this stupid game that did. So I said, put it on your phone. Well, the one I found doesn't work on her phone.
Oh.
So what I did is I got my iPad. I said, here, there you go. There you go.
Now you can cheat for free.
Cheat for free.
I was going to say, like, what if she just paid you? You just have a tip jar, and every time she wants you to do it, you're like, okay.
It'd be one of those things where I'd just get like a piece of paper, I owe you.
Yeah.
And so it's my money's your money. Your money's my money.
Right.
It's funny because I don't know if I know Chris has played this game. I don't know if Matt did or not. There was a game in the mid-90s called Myst that came out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And
it's like a puzzle game.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that game came out today, how much money they would make if you're buying clues to figure that thing out? Because these are, back, Jack, when you just bought the disc and you played it or downloaded. But Myst is one of those games that you would spend weeks or months, just staring at the same thing over and over because you actually had to figure out these huge puzzles in order to advance. And they don't make games like that anymore, at least that I know of.
No, I mean, back in the day with E.T.,
you couldn't cheat back then because there wasn't much of internet. There wasn't really.
I'm saying, but now that's why they don't do it, because now you can cheat.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Someone would have to figure it out and just posted it online, going like, "Oh, you do this to figure out this puzzle, you do this to figure out this puzzle," and some people who just want to get through it would do it, but it ruins the game. Simpler time. Well, it's like you look at Zelda 2, Adventures of Link. That game is literally jumping up and down over and over again, just going bling, bling, bling
Oh my gosh!
Forever. A kid would stroke out today if they had to play that game.
Oh, my son plays this game online where he just taps a button to make cookies or something, like a cookie creator, and I'm like, really? It's just tapping a button. I feel like you're actually just going to destroy my hardware here. This game is just for you to decide to destroy my computer by you just tapping
on this thing.
Go. Just how many times can you tap it as fast as you possibly can for an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the maker of the game also makes the keypads for the.
I think Mac. I think it's like a dark money linked back to Mac to destroy or PCs are in on it too. Hewlett Packard.
I did see something that was pretty disturbing today. A 41-year-old man threatened this kid over Fortnite.
Oh,
he said he was going to go to his school and shoot him.
Oh yeah.
I didn't read the whole thing, but I said, this is ridiculous. I go, you're an adult playing a game. I go, first, nobody should be threatening anybody over a game. But I was going, that is just crazy.
I remember in 2005, I was still in college, and my neighbor was a Marine, an ex-Marine. He's never really an ex-Marine, but he was a Marine. And this is when online gaming just started getting popular, and he was probably 23, 22, somewhere in there. And I just hear him in that grunt. If you ever known a Marine, they all same thing. She's like, rah, rah. And I hear him through the walls, and I open his door up, and he's screaming, playing Halo at this like 8-year-old kid. I mean, he's probably anywhere from 8 to 12, but you can hear this little prepubescent voice. It's like, haha, I just killed you. I just did this. Haha. And you just hear him going, I'm going to come in your house and I'm going to. To me, it was comedic gold, just being a fly on the wall watching.
Army training, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can relate this to animals too, because like this little kid's just like a punk chihuahua. And here you have this like big, huge bulldog, like, and they're in different cages in different places, and as it should be.
Marines are tough. I mean, I've known several, of course, living in San Diego, but I have a relative who's a Marine. He's about my size, but he has one of those vice grips, handshakes.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like, oh, I don't want to shake his hand. He's going to break my hand. Nicest guy in the world. Well, he's an iron worker, and I think he had a bunch of steel and cement fall on him. He almost died. I mean, it was that bad, and he was injured.
Yeah,
and I said, all right, I don't mind shaking your hand now. He still had a vice grip. I'm like, I go, how is that possible?
Oh, yeah.
I go, you're breaking my hand.
By the way, this sounds like a Larry David moment too. Like you go to see him in the hospital after it's like, thinking you're tough. You're like, eh. And then like he's in the wheelchair there.
He was in intensive care. He wasn't even even conscious. No, I'm kidding. He was later on when he was home.
Well, I'm getting the mental image of Larry David though, like walking into a nursing home or a hospital, going like with the attitude, and them going, and then afterwards, like, look at my hand, he got me.
Yeah, no, that's totally it. That's exactly what I imagined Jack doing.
I was so happy. I go, oh, I can't wait to shake his hand today. Yeah. There was one time where I had bruised my hand. I was probably playing baseball or softball or something. My hand was sore. And he shook my hand. You don't want to cry in front of a Marine. You got to try and act tough. But I'm like, and I know I've told this story before. I was at the rink one time years ago. This Marine League they used to play on, and they used to beat the crap out of each other. Guy took a puck to the face. Ooh. He comes over to me and he puts can you hold on to these for me? And he puts them on the table there. I go, they were his teeth. And he went back out and played. His whole front of his mouth, like 4 or 5 teeth were sitting there. I go, okay.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I mean, the same thing. Like when I played sports, it's more about the team than yourself in the moment. And I did that. I got hit so hard in playing football once my helmet came down and the part here split my bridge of my nose, and I was just bleeding down here. And I remember,
I said, ooh, yeah, because I've seen that on just in football games. You'll see football players that'll sometimes happen.
It just comes in, and to me, it wasn't a big deal. I didn't need stitches, thank God. I don't have a scar, but I remember it being split and bleeding, and like the head coach going like, "Do you need to go in the locker room?" I went, and I just took a towel and just like wiped it off. I was like, "I'm good," but it's just one of those things that happens.
Yeah, that was my first injury actually as a kid. I came out, I was about 1 year old, and I was coming out to say goodnight to my dad or something, and I tripped on my, I was a toddler at the time, and I tripped and I fell and hit the bridge of my nose right there on the fireplace.
Ooh.
So yeah, that was my first stitch. Well, I guess it wasn't my first stitch because I had a bunch of hand surgeries up to that point. So it's because my right hand is shaped differently, and when I go to shake people, everybody wants to shake with their right hand, and they always go up and they grab and they kind of crush my right hand, which is already I cannot open it. So I've learned this technique over the years because I've been crushed by many men just going up, and I cannot open my hand basically as part of my congenital birth thing. I don't know. I don't like to call it a defect.
So basically you're telling me stop complaining to shake his hand.
Yeah, stop complaining because it could be worse.
Okay.
I'm still hung up on the fact that you said I've been crushed by many men.
I've been crushed by many men.
I was wondering why Nick laughed.
That's why I was laughing. That's like, I bet you have. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I have an upside down handshake that I do. So as people put out their right hand, I'll shake upside down left-handed. So
yeah.
Or then people are like, oh, whoa, and then they'll put their left hand forward or something.
Or you can do the Bob Bill.
I mean, there's so many. It's interesting, like how that's evolved. You know, because like now with fist bumping is very popular. You know, some people don't even shake hands. It's interesting, like just how people greet each other, because you know that was handshaking's been around since what, probably 1,000 years. So I don't know.
Maybe even longer, since the aliens, you know,
since the aliens taught it to us. Yeah.
I can tell you, when you play hockey, it's rec hockey. If you don't shake hands afterwards, people will line you up the next game. The next time you play, there was a guy in our league in San Diego, never shook hands.
Huh.
And so we would the whole game torment him, like we just go after him. It was just part of the deal. And he goes, "It's not the playoffs."
It's not the playoff. That's his excuse. It's not the playoff.
Because in NHL they only shake hands after a playoff series. And I'm like going, but it's everybody else is doing it.
You're not a pro.
Yeah. Or someone if you go off the ice without shaking hands after game because you lost it, oh my God, it's brutal.
Huh.
You must conform. Everybody must shake hands.
Well, I mean that's
well, I mean that's a polite kind of way of
it's just like, hey, whatever happened during the game. Good game. You suck. Good game.
Right. That's why I say 1,000 years, not to get me very Nick explaining things in his history, but that's why we shake hands, is because your right hand is your fencing hand, and that's why you presented it to say like, hey, I'm not going to kill you. that's where it originated from.
But I've never done fencing.
Yeah, but that's where it's for. It's like so because you pull your sword with your right hand, so you're basically saying like, I'm vulnerable now. Like, here you go. At least that's the way I've always read history, is that's where it comes from.
In the next 1,000 years, it's going to be the symbol of you actually putting your device down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The phone is down.
The phone is down.
It's
not in front of you anymore. Well, actually, beyond that, we won't have phones. It'll be implants at that point. So
true. Yeah. Telepathic. That was something I was going to read about. Like, back in the 80s, at least from the movies you watch, when you saw people walking around with the boom box on their shoulder with the loudspeakers and all that, it has now become taken over in downtown LA in particular.
Yeah.
Where you have the wireless Bluetooth speakers now around your neck with, so you have these two little speakers, and then you have now are blaring that, so you don't have to carry the stereo.
Right.
We had a good 20 years there without the.
It's funny. I grew up in that era, and it never bothered me when somebody was walking down with their boom boxes, boom, boom, boom. Because I used to have I'd have like 4 or 5 speakers, 6 speakers with amps in my, so the power. I still remember coming up to a light and the guy goes, "Turn that music down." I go, "Huh?" And he goes, "Turn that music down." I go, "Okay." And so I turned it up. Now,
it's too loud, you're too old.
Now, if a kid did that to me today, I'd be ticked off.
Yeah.
But back then it was okay.
Well, I don't understand it, because in particular, if you walk out my front door, I'm right at the subway station. And if it's one person doing it, you're like, okay. But it's like 7 or 8 people all blaring their music. So it's just a bunch of gibberish, you know, and you're like, how can you hear what you're listening to? Because you have 6 or 7 other people blaring their music as loud as they can. So it just sounds horrible.
Now, worst to me is when you go to a baseball game and someone has the radio on of the baseball game you're watching.
Yeah,
I'm like, I just get tense in my neck. I want to go take and smash the radio. You're at the effing game. What are you listening to?
Yeah.
Well, they did that at UT a lot growing up, because the announcer for the radio was so good that but it was never with the radio out loud. You always had your headphones on and listened to the radio because you wanted to listen to it.
Well, I don't mind people if they have their headphones on. That's their choice. But now you're interfering with my enjoyment of the game.
Right. Exactly.
I don't want to listen to the radio.
Well, it's like smoking, except with sound.
Exactly.
So
it's worse. I'd rather have the smoking.
I don't know.
Growing up, it didn't bother me. Now it does. But
it's weird.
Well, everybody smoked when I was growing up. Not me personally.
Right. No. I know what you mean. I mean, my grandparents smoked. My mom smoked. And sometimes, every now and then, I'll get a whiff of a cigarette, and it kind of takes me back, where I'm like, oh, that kind of smells like, this memory.
It smells like mom.
Yeah, that smells like.
It's true.
99% of the time, I'm like, man, that smells like some dank, like mildewy, like you just walked out of like a bar, you know, and it just smells like an ashtray, and I don't like it. But every now and then.
Yeah.
When I first started dating Cindy, I used to bowl all the time. And when I come home, she goes, "You got to go take a shower." I go, "Why?"
You smell like
Because I would smell. I smell like. I go, because I didn't notice it. Because like I said, growing up, everyone smoked. I would go,
Yeah.
"Oh, I do." Okay.
Right.
You know, it's funny. Like I think Shandy and I were talking about this not too long ago. How California, you can only smoke outside, and that's it in public.
But they smoke in the front doors you're walking in.
Oh yeah, but in Tennessee though, you can smoke in a bar or a what's it called? Bar and grill past 9:00 p.m. in Tennessee, as long as the owner allows it. And so it's pretty much every bar and grill past 9:00, and you have to be 21 and over.
That's kind of how it is here in Indiana. They just break the law.
Oh, but yeah, like to me, it's just it's you have the choice. It's the owner's choice to say like, yeah, I allow smoking in my place, and if he doesn't, then you can't smoke there, and they'll have signs.
I honestly feel that's how it should be.
Yeah, and it's like
I like going into a non-smoking establishment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, and it's just freedom all around. And if you don't want to be around smoke, then don't go to that pub. There's plenty of other pubs. But I was saying, like, I went to one, and I know what you mean, though, Matt. That's what I was getting at. Like when I go for years at a time or months at a time without even smelling a cigarette, and then you go into a bar that allows it, and you're like, oh yeah, like you forget.
Yeah,
I know.
Every now and then, it
You go in Vegas and you have that one person who'll sit down next to you, and they'll go, "Hey, can I get some cigarettes?" And like, "Oh no," and the smoke, of course, just blows right into your face. It's like
The worst is the wet smoker, the smoker that has somehow like taken a shower, and yet still somehow reeks of like like you're like, how are you still smell like your hair is wet? You walked in out of the rain, or I don't know what's going on with. Anyway,
it's like Pigpen. It just follows them. We'll puff the smoke.
Kinda, yeah. So, anyway, strange subjects to get onto here tonight.
Damn smokers.
We're just talking about a bygone era.
Bygone era. I remember smoking on an airplane. I actually flew on an airplane.
Oh, wow.
I was still smoking.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, they were smoking at the back, party in the back.
So that's what it is. It's always in the back. They just.
I still like that. Some
walks
planes still have ashtrays.
Yeah, some do. Yeah.
See, I go. It's been like 50 years. Can we get rid of these ashtrays?
I'm kind of the same way about the non-smoking sign. I'm like, really? Is there a 90-year-old person on here that is like just coming onto an airline for the first time in their freaking life?
We lost Jack.
Doesn't know this? Oh, we did.
Yeah. Oh well. Let's do a recording, I think, so we're good.
He'll come back.
Jack
always comes back.
He does come back. We have to go back, Jack. I know what you mean. Like
why do they have the non-smoking signs up still? I mean,
still
it's
to this
just
day.
given, and they have to go over it and over. And I'm like, really? Like, is there a time traveler you're expecting? Like, what's going on here? Like, I feel old knowing of a time in which you could smoke on an airplane, but that was so long ago.
But even like the end of Say Anything, with John Cusack, that's one of the biggest lies. Because she's nervous to fly. And, and he's like, oh, as long as we're fine. You won't know until the seatbelt sign goes off, and then you're good. And it's like, if you've ever sat on a plane and waited for that seatbelt sign to go off, you're gonna be waiting for a long time. It's like, that's the worst piece of advice ever. It's a good half hour into the flight. Yeah,
it is. Sometimes an hour if you're taxiing.
Yeah.
So
you have to wait for that ding ding.
The ding ding. Yeah.
Ding ding. I'm sorry. I thought I lost you guys. I got kicked out.
No, we lost you.
Yeah, we saw. It still says live, so we're hopefully it's still recording. So.
I'm assuming it's still recording because it just kicked me out. That's
okay.
Maybe it's my mom because she's a smoker and she's probably mad right now.
Yeah. Show you, Jack.
she gave me a timeout.
I think Cindy heard you from the other room.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. She just reset the internet. She's like.
Well, that's a good segue. I guess we go to the hurricane.
Yes.
Last week, because I had my mom texting me course, she's concerned because she just sees the news. And we were very fortunate here in Raleigh. It got some high pressure came down from Ohio, so they can be first in flight because it probably saved us a lot of damage.
Woo!
And it made and the damage is just ridiculous. And I think they have 33 deaths so far.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just sad when you see it. I mean, but we were fortunate here. I mean, it just went around us.
I was so afraid of the flooding. I mean, for you guys, but I know it's flooding around the Carolinas still, and it's going to be a long time.
It's going to get worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Than it is now.
Well, she sent me at one note. She said, "Are you sure you're not having flooding?" I go, and I just sent back. I go, "Hey, we're actually waiting for Noah to come pick us up."
Yeah.
But it's just like I said, no. I go,
way to mess with your mom.
Well, yeah, I'm trying, but she's looking on the news and she sees that certain parts, like there's a part where you go to the 40, you go from Raleigh to Wilmington, the freeway or the whatever I call it freeway. It's not a river. It's the freeway. It's underwater.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many places just underwater. There's so much damage done, and it's like they're only 45 miles away from us.
Sure.
It's just the way it happened. And the rain we got a lot of rain, but it was spread out over 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get it dumped on because we have a little 100-year floodline behind us here. I said, those trees are going to be coming down. I go, if we get that 20 inches of rain like they think, we're screwed.
Right.
But only thing that happened to us is we lost power for a while. I think the first day we lost power, probably a total of 5 hours off and on.
Well,
I said, well, that's the worst that's happened to us. But again, I feel so bad for those people that have lost everything.
I do too. I just, I don't. Has it been declared a national disaster area?
I think it was declared national before it happened.
Before it even happened.
Yeah.
Because
I think what happened was a lot of places didn't expect to get hit as hard,
mm-hmm.
and that's where you're finding a lot of people died because they just weren't prepared. I mean, in this day and age, you get notice. I mean, they were telling this thing out like 10 days out. And it wasn't up to like 3 days. Even after the weather people kept saying, "Well, we still get a possible foot of rain here, possible foot." It didn't happen, and the wind wasn't. I mean, thunderstorms to give us more rain, more wind, and more damage and stuff like that. I mean, there were some branches down, and the tree did fall behind us out here somewhere. I heard it fall, but I didn't see it. But a lot of those places got so much that had a lot of destruction and a few deaths is because they weren't prepared. Because they weren't predicting it was going to hit them that hard until the end, where it curved around.
Water, yeah, from what I heard too, was coming through so fast too in some of those parts that there was
some parts
flooding.
Yeah, but
flooding.
Yeah, it's the flooding, and I guess what happened is the storm stalled,
Mm-hmm.
and it was going like 3 miles at a time, and it just the rain just kept in those areas like 20, 30 inches of rain. It's pretty sad, but we came through it pretty good. No problems with our end. We got lucky.
Yeah, well, I know that a lot of listeners are also very. I think, they're very happy and relieved, I guess, is what I was trying to say. That to know that you guys are okay, because I'm sure that they're kind of waiting to hear like, hey, what's going on with the.
Well, I didn't mark myself safe, so.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I didn't. So.
Oh, he didn't. Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure yet.
So for everyone listening out there, Jack is safe.
I didn't know how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
so I just said, "There's people ask." I go, "Yeah, we're fine. We're fine."
Well, I have a nephew that marked himself safe, so that was kind of reassuring to just know. Oh, okay, you're okay.
My mom still wouldn't have believed it though.
She would have clicked angry face if you marked yourself safe.
Yeah.
Or tear face.
Are you sure? Because she's been out here. She sees all these trees around us. I go,
Sure.
They're still standing. I go, we're not getting the wind is probably like 20 miles an hour. It's not that bad. Literally, it just wasn't that bad in our area.
Yeah.
Like you said, you look at some of the like where our kids went to college, it's all underwater. I mean, it's just sad.
Yeah, I grew up in a flood area actually, because I'm not too far from the Mississippi River, but it floods in
I've heard of that.
It floods. Well, I live basically a few miles south of where the Mississippi and the Ohio meet, and
What's the better river, the Ohio or the Mississippi?
It's Ohio for sure.
I'm gonna go with Mississippi on that one. But whenever you see like those floods up, in North Dakota and Minnesota and all that, and then everywhere else from the north gets tons of rain, that's like that's the dread time for us because like it all just funnels right there. And it's one of those nice things growing up. Right, is like it's such a small populated area that we know what land not to buy and what to buy, and so most people live on higher ground. So when it does flood, it's like the only thing it's flooded is farmland. So it's like, oh, well, there's tons of water for next year's crop. So it's a kind of a win-win thing sometimes. But there are some houses that are built in the flood zone, and then the government usually ends up having to buy them out and be like, hey, like no one can live here anymore because it costs too much money to do it. But it's weird. Like to me, it was just a part of life. I mean, I remember like every year, like sometime around April, that whole like you just see it for miles, just tons of flooded area.
Oh, wow. We have an area here in Franklin where it floods quite a bit. So, and when my daughter was about 1, we had a 100-year flood basically that came through, and the water came fairly high. Our basement never flooded, fortunately. So, but had it kept rising, eventually it would have backed up and came up through our basement. But yeah, that shut down our highway here, so we were isolated. And at that point in time, I really wanted to buy a boat. So that was like the first time that I was like, hey, you know what? Like long-term goals, I need to get a boat. Like even just a couple kayaks for us to be able to, That's
actually my happy memories of those. When you see these huge, just acres upon acres of flooded areas, is that every freaking redneck in the world out there. That's what they do. Is like, well, sure. I can't get anywhere with my truck, so I'll get the John boat out and get me a 6-pack of beer. We'll just go ride around in the flood area. Like that's just
the what? Wait, the what boat?
John boat.
John boat.
The little green metal boats.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know it had a name.
Yeah, they're called John boats. Okay. Yeah, so you have like a little 30 horsepower, motor on the back, and
so is that from the Waltons?
Yeah, Green Acres. Yeah. Waltons.
Oh, that was John Boy. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, I just remember seeing like all that growing up. Just stuff to me seems normal, but to anyone else in the country, you're like, look at these idiots.
People did that when we had our flood here in Franklin. And the cops, well, first of all, we had some neighbors that were like, hey, let's get the tubes out and get in the water. And we were like, it's a sewer overflow there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You realize you're swimming with feces.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't shower either because all of our water is now contaminated too. So it's like, you smell that gasoline? The gas station is underwater too. So
that's what they were saying. They were doing a report out of Fayetteville, and they were saying, yeah, people need to stay out of the water because it's contaminated.
Oh, absolutely.
There were snakes everywhere in the water. There's fire ants. Like they had this video of these huge mountains of fire ants just floating along. They know how to survive on this thing. I was like going, who's walking in this water? They had some guy. They said, yeah, I'm just sitting on my porch and shooting. He had a pellet gun. He was shooting snakes with his pellet gun because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I go, God, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Because we're in a wooded area. I go, I don't like snakes as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
all the critters come out. Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot of animal deaths. I mean, that to me too is just horrifyingly sad. Just like all of the livestock that's been killed. Just
that's what really it shocks me sad. How many people abandoned. Like I forget who or when it was I was watching, but there was some reporter that had like a good 6 or 7 dogs around him, and they all of them were tagged and had collars, and it's like, why do you just abandon your dogs? Like I don't understand that. I mean,
there was something on Facebook where there were 6 dogs in this North Carolina home where there's kind of like a shed that had like a chain link fence for like a gate, and they were locked behind the gate. And the water was filling up in the thing. It was like 2 feet high. So they went and got him and rescued the dogs. I'm like going, well, who locks their dogs in a place where they can't get? I mean,
yeah, at least let them free, because then they're gonna at least
give them a shot. But it's just like I just don't get it. I mean, I get it. You're panicking, but again, you have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then why ditch your dog?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, is there some kind of like, oh, animals know best, let's just let them free?
Yeah.
These dogs are so happy. They're like,
my cat knows what's best. Go on, Fluffus. I'll meet you on the other side. So did they have warnings about not shooting guns into the hurricane too?
like Independence Day. Do not shoot your firearms at the alien spacecraft.
I did not hear those warnings. Do people do that?
I've heard about this warning. I don't know. Is this real, Floridians? Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, okay, that doesn't count.
Yeah, Florida,
it doesn't count. And
you're separating North Carolina.
I don't want to insult people from Florida. Everyone I know from Florida.
I'm so glad that you voted for me
everyone from Florida is that I know is. But come on, a lot of strange things happen in Florida. You shake your head and go,
sure, yeah, no, Florida man is a thing.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Florida is a weird state. I'll go ahead and say it.
Too much sun. I mean, really, guys. Too much sun, too much fun. It just drives. It's
too many strange laws. And that's all. I'm not going to go too political here, but they got a lot of strange laws.
A lot of orange juice, guys. Like, what are you doing with all of it? It's like too much vitamin C. I think it makes you go crazy.
Is that what it is?
I'm not passing judgment.
There goes our Sunkist sponsorship.
We've got way too much corn.
Is the Sunkist still around?
Yeah. Hey, what do you mean? Like it's for orange juice, or like you have Sunkist soda?
Yeah, I know, but remember they used to have the stamp on the Anita Bryant. Anita Bryant used to be the spokeswoman for.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Sunkist orange. Yeah, they put the straw on the orange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunkist is still.
Might be I think it's Tropicana.
That's Tropicana.
Tropicana.
I don't know. Maybe they got. I'm pretty sure Sunkist oranges are still around. That just depends on what part of the country you're in.
I drink Simply Juice.
And if you work for Sunkist, that was just a question.
Simply Juice is pretty good. I like Florida's Natural a lot as well. Actually, I can't. Being diabetic, I'm supposed to stay away from juices.
All juices in general.
Because there's so much juice isn't really that good for you. It's better. No, it's not.
I've heard about this, but I'm kind of a juiceaholic.
There goes our juice
I am too.
sponsorship.
I drank.
What about carrot juice? I love carrot juice.
Ooh, that sounds good.
What's good for
nice cold mug?
Yes, you do get the vitamins from it, but what's best about juice, fruits, is the pulp and other things like that. Like,
but see, I always get medium pulp.
Yeah, well, like if you eat an orange, it's not.
I get medium rare.
Like the fiber, the white stuff of an orange, that's good for your GI tract. And so by not only drinking the juice, you're not getting.
Never served. I don't have a GI tract, but
really?
I will say that
I was saying the same thing.
I prefer full pulp. But I get medium pulp because I can get it with the calcium vitamins added.
Right.
So juice is bad. So carrot juice is not good for me?
No, I'm not saying juice is not good for you. It's just not as good.
Cauliflower juice.
Cauliflower juice? How do you get juice out of a cauliflower? So it's like soy milk. It's not soy milk. It's soy juice.
It's nut juice.
It's nut juice. And now we have a title for the episode. There you go. It's nut
but it
juice.
is nut juice. Brought to you by the Dairy Council.
That's going to get people to click on just because what the heck did they talk about?
No, it's not. Come on. You guys have heard of nut juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have in a lot of pornos.
Peanut juice and almond juice.
Hey, you got any of that nut juice? Took me a while to fill up that glass.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I just put that together. You can see what.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What do you want to keep talking about the benefits of juice?
No, not really. I was just kind of juice. We're gonna get into baseball steroids now.
No, I wanted to talk to Jack about The Good Place.
Oh, right. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah,
I wanted to see where he's at on that because
I'm on episode 11, season 1.
Oh, nice. Okay, you're almost through the first season then.
Yeah, I have 2 more episodes. I need 11 and 12. I think there's 12 episodes a season.
Okay. Yep.
It's funny.
It is, right?
It's quirky. It's funny. I'm glad I started watching it.
Well, good. I'm glad you did.
It was on your recommendation. I said, all right, I'm going to watch it.
Well, it has Ted Danson and
that.
yeah, and I always forget her
Kirsten
name.
Dunst. I mean, not Kirsten.
Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell. Yeah.
Anna Kendrick.
Who said she would be okay with doing an ecstasy? What's that drug?
Ecstasy.
Ecstasy party.
I like how you keep messing up ecstasy.
Ecstasy.
Sure, yeah. Is that what the kids are doing these days?
I've never done it, so I don't know.
Exto. Does anybody have any of that Exto?
Exto D. It's not good for you. It's got vitamin D in it.
It's got vitamin D, lots of pulp.
That's
Good for the GI tract.
No,
Guys, any of that nut juice for the GI tract?
Yeah. You take the Exodus and you down it with it. You take a shot of nut juice. Man, you are messed up.
If you can just call it Molly if you can't remember.
It's Molly.
Call it Molly.
You know what's messed up though about The Good Place is that it actually makes you think about ethics and like moral, like being a better person.
But like you said,
But not in a bad way.
I don't want to spoil people, but there have been mistakes. So Hitler could have found himself in The Good Place. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
He could have.
He could have found.
What I like about the show is they have several characters, and they didn't just throw them all at the wall all at once.
Mhm.
They took time to develop. They had your main characters, and then they brought in the secondary characters in that. So because I think a lot of shows make a mistake by trying to give you all the characters at once.
All at once. Yes, that's true.
And you can't keep up with it, or you lose interest. Oh, that character sucks. I don't want to listen to them. They're drinking too much nut juice. But I like the fact that it's a slow. That they bring some of these characters along slowly.
I mean, it keeps twisting and turning. It's like a Rubik's Cube. Like each week, it's like you think it's going to go one way, and you're like, oh, and now we're back to this, and this is going this way, and it keeps. It doesn't rest on its laurels.
No.
I'll tell you that much is true for season 2. It continually keeps you engaged, which I really enjoy about it, and I like how it's very light, and yet also a bit heady. And the fact that it deals with some ethical and moral judgments going on. You know, you kind of learn about some of that stuff through the show. And
well, if those are the criteria to get up there, I guess I'm going to The Bad Place. I agree with there should be a middle place.
Right.
But I don't think I deserve to go to The Bad Place.
Has there been a middle place?
No, but it's been brought up by the.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I can't wait to talk to you next week when you've either finished this season and
I'll
the
finish
next
it.
one. And we can talk about it even further, and maybe we can go a little bit more spoilery for fans of The Good Place, or if you haven't checked it out, by all means you should give it a try.
If you have Netflix, first 2 seasons are on Netflix.
And the new season is going to be coming out very soon, which I'm looking forward to.
NBC.
I've got my DVR set.
How many episodes per season?
13, I think.
Is it 13?
Not too bad.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, then I guess I have 3 more episodes to go.
And they're at about 22 minutes each because they're an NBC show.
It's funny
it
how
goes fast.
because to me, going back to Lost, it seems like every show before Lost, season 4, 5, and 6, it was always 24 episodes per season, and then Lost demanded after the writer's strike, he's like, oh, we just want to do 12 to 13 episodes per season for the next 3 seasons, and then it seems like now every show it's just like, no, we're just doing shorter.
Well, I think they have more because it used to be.
And then you had Breaking Bad too, that I think really also paved. I mean, I know that was beyond and after Lost, but just that idea that.
Well, obviously, cable has changed the way we watch TV. Because when I was a kid, it was you'd have 3 networks. These were the shows that were on.
Yeah,
they ran, and then the reruns would start after that. So if you missed an episode, you had to wait for the rerun to come back on. In fact, you just watched the reruns because what else were you going to watch?
What's a rerun?
There was nothing. Yeah, exactly. But there was nothing else. But now it's just like these. I think because now what they do is they'll have like a spring show, a fall show, and then a spring show to fill that slot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So keep it fresh, which is smart.
Yeah, which is fine because I need something other than reality TV shows every night. Jeez, I'm just not a reality TV show guy.
No.
And so
Yeah, there's only a few that I like. I mean, I still watch Survivor, even though it's been on for over 30 seasons. And,
37 coming up.
Yeah, and I watch.
I've been on one season though.
I watch, Still Deadliest Catch. It's been on for over 10 years. And I like Alone, which is another Nat Geo show, I think, which is, they drop off like 10 survivalists in the middle of the woods with nothing and say like last man standing wins, 100,000 or $1 million or whatever it is. And that's a true version of Survivor.
I should clarify too, as far as like game shows too, like the America's Got Talent kind of shows. Like, and I know that some people watch those, my brother being one, and other family members, but it's just not something that I like. When I go to network TV and I see, it's just game shows and reality TV, I kind of zone out. Or Nickus is on.
I still watch Family Feud. It's still a guilty pleasure.
Family Feud is funny, but I like to see the best of like blooper reels and the funniest crap.
That's what makes it good. Yeah, it's just all the random perverted stuff people say.
But now that you mention reality TV show, there are a few guilty pleasures that I guess I do, like the British Baking Show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
British Baking Show?
Yeah, the Great British Bake Off thing. Whatever, it's on PBS. I watch it.
I cut the dickens out of my hand.
That is so funny. And apply the pressure. Oh! Is Julia Child still alive?
I don't think so.
No, she died in that accident. So you can't tell me she survived that. Come on. Anyway,
was Rachel Ray still on? I mean, I don't know. I don't
think she is, but I think she's definitely invested in other shows. But I don't think she actually has her show anymore.
Yeah, I don't watch any. We don't have TV anymore, so it's like people saying the Emmy ratings were down. I don't have TV.
I mean, someone posted on the Facebook group. I didn't even know about it until the day of, and I missed probably the first hour and a half of it before I even switched to it. And I was like, it was the first time I had never seen an advertisement for the Emmys ever.
It snuck up and I don't know why they bumped it from Sunday to Monday. Like, I will tell you that that Sunday Night Football, that game was crap. I watched enough of it to see Eli Manning have his ooh face. Which has become a hilarious meme if you haven't seen it.
Oh, he has the best faces.
Oh man. So, but
wait, does it top the one where he realizes his brother's going to get a second Super Bowl?
No, it probably doesn't, but it's just as good because he had been sacked. But they should have had it on Sunday, and regardless, my wife and I, we just happened to catch it, and we actually ended up watching like a good hour and a half of it. I was kind of surprised, but they put more of the comedy stuff up front, which was, kept us kind of interested. So, but I don't know. It seems like and the biggest thing is somebody got engaged. That was like crazy. Like I watched that and we were both like, wow.
Now what happens if he wouldn't have won?
I would imagine he would have probably still proposed maybe.
So would he been the after how you have to get that fake?
Right.
Yeah, I'm so happy they won and not me. Does he go, okay, I lost. Will you marry me? And what did she say there? Like, wait, I'm gonna go marry that guy. He's taking home the Emmy.
I was really hoping that their whole proposal would go on to win some kind of web award, or like a Newsy or a Webby or something. I don't know.
What if she had said no?
Because he won for directing the Oscars. So
is that what it was?
Yeah, he won for directing the Oscars. So it could just be this.
Oh, the fix was
continual like.
Don't the Oscars always win that category? It's like
there wasn't much in that category that I mean the halftime game with Justin Timberlake was in there, and we were like the halftime show versus the entire Oscars. Like, okay.
There's so many dumb Emmy awards. There's some girl I saw on an internet post that she was trying to get an Emmy for best web series under 7 minutes or something.
I saw that girl.
Yeah,
and I saw that.
And it's like I don't even care. It's like I just want to, it's amazing. You can win an Emmy for anything just so you can have it on your hey, I won an Emmy.
But but I thought it was smart because it got people going to her page.
It did, yeah.
I thought it was pretty clever.
Well, we all can't be Kelsey Grammer with like 9 or something like that.
You see who the NFL who's doing the halftime show this year?
No.
Maroon 5.
Oh God,
Who's that?
They already did. No, that was Coldplay. There's
Yeah.
another band that'll make everybody fall asleep.
I don't understand that.
Well,
at all.
I found out that Dean
Sorry.
Spanos, owner of the Chargers, was in charge of picking the halftime show.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I don't know.
I would not put it past him. I mean, of all the people, like you couldn't get. I don't know. I just feel like they could have gone. You know, maybe the thing is everybody's hanging up. They're like, no, we don't want to do that.
We want something that's popular with the youngins. You know, we got to get these kids.
Unfortunately, NFL is very political right now, so maybe they just don't want to do it.
Do what?
Is
I mean,
the
I'm just
NFL
saying,
political,
big-
or has it been politicized?
Politics, yeah, I guess that's how you phrase it. But I'm thinking maybe that's why you can't get the top. All right,
Sure.
we're down to Maroon 5 here.
Well, what was interesting, you know, is that after the whole Timberlake Janet Jackson thing, because they were trying to get more current artists, and then when that happened, it was almost like a 7 or 8 year period of they froze every new artist out, and they
Yeah.
just got people like the
They
Who
went-
and Paul McCartney,
But
and
They went all classic.
I
Yeah.
loved that. I thought it was
Yeah.
great.
no, it was great. It was great because they had the material and the amount of stuff to fill that time period with just nothing but hits, but then you get, you know,
I think after Madonna, it's basically when it kind of they did Madonna, and then I think after that they started bringing in younger and different
Like Prince.
artists.
well,
No, Prince was in the classic period
yeah.
of what
That's
Nick's
true.
talking about.
Okay.
Because I think Prince actually followed, and they tried to make a whole thing about him like sexualizing the guitar or something like that.
Yes.
But there really wasn't anything about it. I think there was just, you know, the media, how they like to spin things.
Oh, of course.
Jerks.
Thanks, Fox News.
I wanted to say, like, speaking of football, did you guys see one of the most ballsiest plays I've ever seen in football? It was Arkansas versus
the
Northern
punt.
Texas. The punt return.
Mhm.
That was one of the greatest tricks I've ever seen, and he's lucky he did not get laid out. You know, but it was great. Did you know what we're talking about, Matt?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Not the Arkansas. I thought you were going to talk about the Green Bay play.
No,
So-
like, because I watched college. You know, so
Okay.
So basically, Arkansas versus Northern Texas, which no one really would watch this game, but it's just so, you know, like a lot of times when you're watching something on TV, when they punt the ball, you follow the ball, and so all you see is the player catch the ball standing straight up, and that's all he does. So you think, oh, he called for a fair catch, but he didn't. And so the two guys that came down just stopped because he's standing straight up the way and the posture that you would use if you did the fair catch. And so as soon as those guys turn to walk towards the sideline, he just takes off for a touchdown.
Oh, nice.
Because
And-
the whole team veered toward their
yeah, towards the bench. Yeah.
Oh.
And he never called the fair catch. And it's just like, I mean, it was brilliant, but it's one of those moments where if just one of those guys would have been savvy to him not waving,
Sure.
he would have been laid out.
Well, that's where if I'm the coach and those 11 special team players,
Mhm.
the next practice, I'm going to work you till you throw up, because you don't stop. And people are, that's just harsh. You don't stop until you hear what?
The
Whistle. Yeah,
whistle,
right. Yeah.
I mean, that's from the time.
Mhm.
Anytime you're in a sport where there's a whistle involved, you're taught that from whenever you start.
That's true. Yeah.
You play till you hear a whistle. Now, I guess the NFL's changed. You have to stop kind of before the whistle.
Ever since that Hockley call,
what?
right?
The hockey
Ever since that Hockley call, right?
Don't get me started on that one.
I know.
Anyway, that's when I care. That's when I care. I haven't watched an NFL game yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to watch the Jaguars trounce upon Chris's New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Beaten,
I got,
beaten by Blake Bortles.
Yeah. You know who likes Blake Bortles? Somebody from The Good Place. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I got disinvited from the Charger Rams game. So I was like,
What?
Oh.
I mean, because okay,
Hey, listen to
basically,
this podcast?
so my coworker, so I work with this girl, but her boyfriend also works for the same company I do, but he works on a different floor. He's the one that invited me because he's like, hey, like,
Oh.
we have 2 extra tickets. She's taking this girl, and I was going to ask you, but then she came to me. She's like, "Oh, he asked you, but the other ticket is actually meant for like this other girl's sister." And sorry, and I was like, "Fine."
That's I would quit.
But she didn't tell him though until I think yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, he yelled at me for a long time about how rude that was," and I was like,
"That was rude."
Yeah, I was like, I know them pretty well, so I was like, "Yeah, you should feel bad." But
next time I want 2 tickets.
And then again, it's like, hey, it's the Rams and the Chargers. You're doing me a favor by not inviting me. So
the Rams are good.
Yeah, apparently.
I know a lot of people, a lot of former Charger fans are saying this will be the last Charger game I attend, and I'm going there just to root against them.
I thought the Rams like shut out like the Cardinals or something like that.
They shut out the Cardinals and they gave up 6 points the week before.
Crazy.
I mean, they're just loaded defensively, and the Chargers' O-line is bad, or injured. So we'll see. Again, it's hard. It's hard for me to root against them. I still have that where, but I can't stand the owner.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna root against him.
Like having a phantom limb out there.
Well, it's just funny how
crushed by a Marine.
They're attended. I mean, it's just they're not gaining any traction.
Yeah.
Most teams when you come to a new city, there's that honeymoon period.
Right.
Where, oh, we love you no matter what until you start losing.
Well, I mean, it's because LA got. I mean, it was the worst circumstances. LA got 2 teams basically at the same time, and the Raiders moved to Vegas. So it's such a automatic 3-way division right there where you're just not going to have.
Plus, the first choice was the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second choice was the Rams. Nobody was choosing the Chargers. Right. Nobody. And it came out. I read something today that if Forbes said if Spanos would have built his own stadium in San Diego, that his team is worth more now in LA, but he's only made the difference of selling the team if he built the stadium in San Diego opposed to being a renter in Los Angeles is $250 million. That's the difference of his value of his team.
Which is probably nothing to him.
Well, he's not a rich guy, but still, $250 million and all the heat. He can never show his face in San Diego again, ever.
No. Well, I'm curious though where they would have put it though, because you'd like to say put it, because you can't tear down Petco and make it into a dual stadium.
No, well they wouldn't do that, but they tried to put it downtown, and they just could have put it next to the old one.
Yeah.
You know what I say? Bend over and I'll show you.
Where you gonna put it? Yeah, where are you gonna put it?
I'll give you some nut juice.
I wasn't talking to you.
Anyway, that's my Charger rant for the week. That's all I got.
Well, I'll briefly get into some Lost concert talk and then get to trivia.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Lost concert.
Okay, so so last weekend was for anyone out there listening and doesn't know, there was
I saw you. I hate to interrupt you, but I saw that you took pictures with my tickets.
I did. I'm not sure if Ralph is listening, but Cliff and I, which it was so fortuitous. I knew that we weren't sitting together, and I went and got in my seat first, and then I feel a tap on my shoulder, and Cliff's sitting right behind me. like, oh my God, you're right behind me. Okay, you stalker.
That's Cliff.
But I looked at him. I was like, hey, I know Ralph is here, and I was like, he should be to the left of us. And so I stood up, and I was like, oh, there he is. And Cliff's like, how can you see him? I was like, you can't miss that bald head. There he is.
So we replaced one bald head with another.
Exactly. But so we during the intermission we walked over to that section and ran into Joe and Joe Pinion, and I talked to Ralph for a good while, got our photo, and it was a great show. You guys did miss out on a nice show.
I was jealous, but so we gave up our tickets about 2 weeks. We said, I texted him, said, hey, do you need tickets we can't use them. But 2 weeks ago, he goes, sure. And I go, here, they're yours. So we just emailed them to him, and he took them, him and Stevie, his wife.
What I took away from it was not, I mean, even though I loved the music and I really got emotional at some points with some of the music, because they're showing clips and they're that go along with it, just like any other concert in LA. If they play the visual with it, but they had so many of the actors there that in between the songs to set up the pieces of music, they would often read bits of the script.
Oh wow!
Right.
Or set up the scene, and not only did they read the lines, they read the inner dialogue or the scene step. So, like the one I remember is the one Josh Holloway read, and it was a scene between Jack and Locke after the hatch has been discovered, and and Jack is getting on to Locke about. Because Locke's always like, the island demanded this, and it's all about faith, and
get it, John.
Yeah, and but it's how many cuss words are in the script that don't make it to TV, and so because Josh Holloway is reading it verbatim, he's like, at this point, Jack realizes that John Locke is bat blank crazy, and they're like, and he's reading it all. I'm just like, and it was neat to get these little insights of what the characters are reading to portray the lines. And I'm like, that to me was really interesting.
Yeah. No, that sounds cool. Like to be able to.
I'm going to the next one.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. You got basically just the highlights because there's 6 seasons, and the main pieces that you remember is what he played. Yeah.
Which actors were?
So you had, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher. I'm either going to call them by their character or their real name. But you had the only 2 males you had there was Jen and Josh Holloway Sawyer.
DDK.
Yeah, you're right. You had Rebecca Mader, who was Charlotte.
Okay.
You had Claire, Emily DeRaven.
Mm-hmm.
You had not is it Nadia?
Adrian.
Saeed's
Nadia. Adrian Gabrielle.
Yeah, Adrian. Yeah, right. You had her, and
I never say it right, but
yeah, I want to say there's one.
So you know what? She's a big Civil War buff.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she was on one of our charity podcasts one time, and a couple of times, that she's huge Civil War buff.
Big fan of Lincoln too.
Yeah. Thought about having her on, having a trivia contest between you and her.
That would be, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it was 3 women, and the 2 actors, then Damian, Carlton, and then Michael Giacchino. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's good Michael Giacchino showed up.
Yeah, I'm glad he was there. But it was just interesting, hearing their insights, and I didn't know there was actually a Q&A before the show. They didn't announce that, but we walked in time to hear a number of the questions.
Oh.
But one of them, someone asked, what about a reboot? Would you guys be involved in and all that? And they said, well, ABC owns it. And, Damian being funny, immediately, he was just like, look, if ABC owns it, it's their product. If they want to reboot it, I'll be all for it. He goes, I'd be a hypocrite if I said, no, you can't reboot it because, how many scripts have I rewritten?
Right.
So he goes, but if it does happen, we'll support it, but we will not be involved in it in any way.
Well, they were I saw a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram that had pictures with everybody. They were.
Yeah. Oh, that's, it's one of the moments where I kind of really hated that Jay was not there. Because I know if Jay would have been there, I could have been like, hey, let's go down and get some photos and autographs, and goaded him into doing it. Whereas in Cliff is kind of it's not him. So
I would have gone with you.
Yeah. But they did all of them except Andrea, surprisingly, but all of them were out there for a good 20 to 30 minutes after the show was over, signing autographs, taking photos.
Oh, nice.
So it was a nice moment. I wondered why some of the other actors weren't there, because I know Maggie Grace lives in LA and a few others. So it's like, well, why didn't they show up?
Could be working.
Yeah, that's true. Probably go working.
I think Jorge was in Hawaii. So
yeah, well, of course, yeah, because they just had their 200th episode for Hawaii 5-0.
So it's a good time, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was glad I went. I really was glad I went. Because even that's what made it entertaining to me, was you had people coming out and asking Michael Giacchino questions, and cast members or Damian and Carlton, and because how many weird sounds are associated with Lost of just all the strings you're making, just and he would be like, oh, this is how he goes, this is how I write this. This is how this happens. And he would give demonstrations of like how he made the sounds. And I was like, well, that's really cool. Just as a musician, you really appreciate it.
Maybe you could write our intro to the Ramblecast.
Maybe because we never get it right ever.
It would be very helpful if we could just have one note.
One note.
We're not asking for month.
Yeah.
What's that? Maybe a couple notes together?
You're going to be like three.
Three notes.
A little something for the effort.
Just strung together.
I know Jay and Colleen got rained out because they couldn't get out because of the I told Cindy, I go, well, that's one thing about giving up our tickets early, because I wouldn't have done knowing that storm was coming no matter what, because you got family here and my house is here. And it's like there's no way I could have enjoyed this show wondering about my house. But
well, what was funny to me was that because Cliff, I was thinking it, but I didn't say it, and then Cliff said it immediately. Because Colleen wanted to go to this sushi restaurant that's in Hollywood that Cliff and I went to for his birthday, and it was super, super expensive. And Colleen wanted to go because it's a very nice place and it's very good. And then as soon as Cliff found out that they weren't coming, we get to the show, and Cliff looks at me and goes, well, we saved a lot of money. I was like, yes, we did. You know?
Oh, man.
Cliff always thinking bottom line.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Anything else you want to talk about the Lost concert and rub it in our face that you were there?
Nah, that's good.
You sure?
I mean, it was a good show.
All right. I'm going next time. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I mean, they did. A French lady did ask. It was another but of a joke. It's like, oh, look, the French lady's here, because she had the thick accent, and was like, are you ever going to come to Europe to do a tour? And he said, no, I'm always composing, so I do a show when I can. But it was, yeah,
the French lady.
The French lady.
All right, we ready for some trivia?
Trivia.
Why don't you explain the rules?
Sure, that's what I say. Like, okay, for everyone out there listening, when I was in college and post-college, I loved playing trivia at bars, and one of my favorite categories was always movie association. So I proposed this to these guys, and they agreed.
And we both said, I do.
We said, I do, yes.
I said, I guess.
But only with some nut juice. And so the premise is we're each we have 3 movies each we've all picked, and we're going to name 3 actors from each of these movies. Or I'm going to name 3 actors, and then they guess the movie. That's it. To give Jack, like I gave Jack an example before we started. So if I said Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, and Joe Pesci, you would say Lethal Weapon 2 or Lethal Weapon 3 or Lethal Weapon 4. But that
I said Maverick.
Or he said Maverick, yeah. So that's how the game works, and hopefully you can throw some people off by naming 2 characters. You're like, oh, it's this, but it's actually not.
This is always a perfect game too, because people that are listening go, "It's it, you morons!"
Well, I hope I've picked some movies that you guys will know.
Well, who's going first?
Well, we can do the dice.
I don't have any dice.
Well, I don't have any dice.
Chris isn't here. All right, let's go according to the screen. We'll go Matt, Nick, Jack.
Okay. And okay, so does that mean that I get first guess and then Jack gets second guess, or does it?
No, Matt is first guesser.
Oh, Matt's first guesser.
I thought Matt was first question, so who's asking the first question then? Would that be you, Jack?
Whatever you want. It's your game. Whatever you want. I don't care.
All right, fine. I'll ask the first question, and then Matt gets first guess.
Yes.
Okay. Kevin Bacon, Donald Sutherland, Joe Pesci.
Wow.
Kevin Bacon.
What's with you and Joe Pesci?
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland?
Mm-hmm. What movie did all 3 of these characters or actors perform in?
Donald Sutherland, the older Sutherland.
Yes, the older.
The saner one.
There you go. The negative waves.
Wait, and who else? Donald Glover?
No. Kevin Bacon, Donald Sutherland, Joe Pesci.
Oh, and Joe Pesci. You got to think for Joe Pesci, don't you?
Well, that's what Jack is. Yeah,
just trying to buy time. Jack's looking it up on the computer. I'm going to guess.
I will say none of these are the main characters.
Okay. Well, I kind of guessed that much, but I can't think of Kevin Bacon movies.
Oh.
For some reason, I keep just thinking about Tremors. So, and I don't think it's Tremors for some reason, but I'm gonna guess Tremors.
It is not Tremors.
Okay.
Animal House is a good guess because 2 of the 3 are in there.
That's true.
Kevin Bacon and Donald Sutherland are in Animal House, but I don't think Joe Pesci is. What about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
What?
Kevin Bacon's in it. I know that. So. He's in the beginning scene with
Right.
racing for the cab. I don't.
All right.
I can't think of a movie where Joe Pesci would be in that movie
All right.
with those 2 actors.
So you're both incorrect then.
Okay.
It is JFK.
Oh God!
Oh, JFK. Oh.
That's the best. That's the best. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God! How did I not think of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Joe Pesci is the freaky guy. Oh man, I didn't even think about that. I feel shame now.
That's me. You'll kick yourself.
I feel no shame at all. I think it's just hunger, lack of sleep. But
So I asked, so I guess it would be Jack's question, and Matt gets first answer.
wait, I got first question last time.
You got first answer. I asked the question. I mean, I'm going by my screen.
Oh, okay.
I'm second, so that means Jack would answer. Jack would ask the question, and Matt gets the first answer. Or
no, you get it's to you.
Okay, sorry.
All right, I'm giving you 3 heavyweight actors:
Okay.
Jack Lemmon, Henry Fonda, and James Cagney. Yeah.
Huh.
3 heavyweights:
Henry Fonda,
Henry Fonda,
James Cagney,
and Jack Lemmon. And it's not JFK because Jack Lemmon is in JFK. You know why? Because everyone's in JFK.
It's RFK, dude. It's the sequel.
Yeah, RFK. Yeah,
RFK.
it's the James Cagney that's throwing me off.
I know, right?
Mister?
Mm.
There's a hint. Mister? I think it's pretty spot on. James Cagney.
James Cagney. Jack Lemmon.
I'll say this: it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
What?
Maltese Falcon.
No.
It's not even. They're not even in that movie.
No one is in that movie.
I know. I'm just throwing out a name. Actually, I don't know. I can't guess.
Palm Tree. There's a palm tree. You guys have probably never seen the movie.
I might not have. That's what I mean.
Is that the name of the movie?
No.
Oh, okay. So you're skipping? You're not even going to guess?
Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, because I would at least guess. No, there's no way James Cagney's in Glenn Ross.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of Jack Lemmon movies, and all I can think of is they did the Vacationers, didn't they? Was there one that Jack Lemmon was the Vacationers that they? Am I thinking of a different movie? I think there's no way he'd be in there, but I'm going to say the Vacationers.
It is wrong. It's Mr. Roberts.
Mr. Roberts.
I have not seen that movie, so yeah.
Good old fashioned comedy.
Okay.
All right, now I get to, yeah. Nobody knows the Mista thing. Nobody. Yeah, just keep saying that. Now I'm going to at least go with an easy one, so one of you can get on the board. It won't be me.
This is to me, right?
This is to Jack.
JFK. I'm still pissed I didn't get JFK. I've seen that movie 100 times.
I know.
Again, that's the go-to 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Boy, this is really hard because I have several here. But I'm going to go with this one first because Dick Van Patten.
Dick Van Patten. 8 is enough.
I'm starting off with some heavy hitters here.
The Love Boat.
John Candy and Bill Pullman, our favorite.
Gee, that's an easy one.
I think it's easy because I know the answer.
Yeah.
Dick Van Patten, the guy from 8 is Enough.
Yeah.
And his son's a director.
And he's
I know it. Yeah.
Dick Van Patten, John Candy.
We've talked about it actually recently on the podcast, so I'll just say that much. Bill Pullman. Bill Pullman's the pole.
John
He's the pole.
I loved him in Aliens.
I'll go Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's John Candy. I get you there.
I don't know.
Nick's gonna get it.
Spaceballs.
I knew the Dick Van Patten would throw you. But if I started with Bill Pullman, John Candy,
he's in there.
Maybe you would have gotten it easier.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of combination an idiot has on his luggage.
A lot of people don't know what Dick Van Patten is, I guess.
True.
Yep, Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Spaceballs.
Oh, it's my turn. Yeah. Okay. This one. I kind of think Jack will get this one.
Yeah.
This is the only movie where all three of these guys starred in. Gene Hackman, Michael Caine, Sean Connery.
What?
Michael Caine, Sean Connery, and Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
The Rock?
No. That's your guess?
Yeah. Gene Hackman, Michael Caine, and Sean Connery.
Sean Connery's
from 1977.
Mr. From what? What, 70?
1977.
Sean Connery. One of the airport movies. I don't know.
Nope. Well, I was gonna say The French Connection because
that was early 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was early
73
70s.
or 74.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna get it with that. But who else was in it?
It's Gene Hackman, Michael Caine, Sean Connery.
So, and it's not Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
That's 88.
So that rules that out.
Unforgiven.
Unforgiven.
It's like 92.
Untouchables.
I keep thinking of that weird sci-fi movie that Sean Connery was in sometime in the 70s, and I don't know.
Oh, the space one.
Yeah, but I don't know the name of it. I'm going to say
Excalibur.
Excalibur?
Isn't that it?
No.
Nope.
All right.
I'm going to say Xanadu.
That's 1980. That's 1980. That doesn't star any of those men.
I know. I can't. Well, it's the porn ripoff.
It is A Bridge Too Far.
Oh, come on.
You've taken this game too far.
I've seen it. You know what's sad is I've seen all these movies.
We've at least mentioned my movie on this show, but okay.
Bridge Too Far. I never would have got that, but yes, I've seen it.
Okay. The next one is an interesting that I have, but we'll wait for that one.
Is it my turn to?
It is, Jack's turn. Yes.
Okay, I asked Matt, right?
That's me again, or I guess we could switch it up.
No, it's you asking Matt a question.
No, I asked and.
Oh, so it's my turn.
I see. Do you guys want to switch up that way?
Oh, I see.
Whatever you guys want.
Yeah, it doesn't make me any difference. So.
Okay.
We can't.
So,
I've already asked 2 questions. You guys have only asked 1 each. So.
All right. So let me ask this question to Nick.
That's what happened last time. But okay.
All right. Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, and Tim Robbins.
That would be War of the Worlds.
You are correct.
Crap! I would have gotten that one too. Man. Stupid rules.
I should have picked you first.
Yeah, I know. All right. So, who gets this one first, Jack or Nick?
Give it to Jack. Give it to Jack. It's fine.
Okay. All right.
We need this to hopefully tie.
Right. Well, we have mentioned this movie on the show here.
Home Alone.
It's going to be Sidney Greenstreet. Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre.
And Humphrey Bogart. I'll give you more. current one, but they could actually. I could be actually talking about 2 movies here, 3 movies actually, because they've appeared in several movies together.
Oh, you can't do that. It can only be one.
All right. Okay. Jimmy Stewart.
Okay.
Alfred Hitchcock.
He acted?
Well, he was played a bit part as a.
He's always he's in every one of his movies.
Yeah. So now you just have to narrow it down to the lead woman, because let's say Jimmy Stewart and Alfred Hitchcock hung out together and did a lot of movies together in the '60s. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with which one will you know better? Kim Novak.
Kim Novak.
Yeah. There's 3. I had a couple here.
That's the one where he's in a wheelchair, right? Looking out the window.
I can't say. I'm just gonna. But I don't want you to spin out of control.
I can't remember the name. He's like a stalker. In today's standards, he'd be a stalker.
He's a stalker. Oh, you're thinking of Rear Window.
Rear Window.
Yeah.
That's my answer. No,
it's not. That's Grace Kelly.
I got my blondes mixed up. Sorry.
Yeah. Nick, you got an idea which Hitchcock movie I'm talking about?
Go with Vertigo.
That would be it, Mr. Nick. Vertigo. I should have gone with Grace Kelly first, and you would have just gone with Rear Window.
Yeah.
Well, Humphrey Bogart, Sidney Greenstreet, Peter Lorre, that could have been Casablanca. Could have been Across the Pacific or The Maltese Falcon.
That's actually the one I was leaning towards.
Okay. See, I was trying to set you up there.
Do I get a point?
Well, Nick said no way because these rules, but his rules also work. Yeah. Anyway, you're winning. Go ahead.
No.
All right, Nick, your turn to ask a question.
I'll ask you guys more questions than the ones I have, just so you guys can potentially tie if you want.
Look, we couldn't get JFK.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I had another one planned, but I don't think you guys would get it, so I'll ask an easier one.
Oh, so now we're stupid.
I didn't say it. Yeah, you said it, not me. Tim Robbins.
Top Gun.
Lawnmower Man.
Okay, never mind.
Did I get it? You're going to do what?
What? Meg Ryan, Val Kilmer, Kevin Dillon.
Huh.
And get rid of Tim Robbins now.
Kevin Dillon.
Meg Ryan, Val Kilmer, Kevin Dillon.
Who's going? Whose turn?
It doesn't matter.
I'll let Matt go first.
Oh, okay. There's a Val Kilmer movie that I'm thinking about, and I can't remember the name of it. And he's like a negotiator, but he's not the negotiator. It's like a kind of.
Well, you need to think how many movies have Meg Ryan and Val Kilmer been in together?
The Doors.
Oh yeah, they were in The Doors together.
I'm gonna give it to Jack because Jack guessed.
Yeah, Jack got it.
It is The Doors.
You're right. I was thinking something he did in the late 90s.
I let you go as long as I could.
Yeah, that's fine. I told you it's either hunger or lack of sleep right here. That you're dealing with me.
All right, so I have my last question, and we'll let. You want to go first, or who wants to go first?
I'll let Matt go because I'm already 3-1, so it's fine. All
right, Tom Hanks, Julia Roberts, and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, Magnolia, right? I think Philip Seymour Hoffman and Tom Hanks were in that together.
Oh, I know it.
That's not the one I was thinking of, but I don't think they're all in that one.
I actually almost asked this of myself, Jack.
All right, go ahead, Nick. I don't know that I'm horrible about this game. Go ahead, Nick.
It's something Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilson.
Charlie Wilson. Something with Charlie Wilson.
Charlie Wilson Peace. Crap.
I know it. I just can't think of the title.
Charlie Wilson's Violent
War. Charlie Wilson's War.
There you go.
I got that one because I knew the title.
Yeah.
I was going to put Amy Adams, but I said, no, I'll put Philip Seymour.
Yeah. Because Philip Seymour Hoffman has played a ton of small roles.
Yes.
And that's what makes it a good question. And
All right,
Matt's last turn.
I've got a good one here.
So Matt got shut out.
Shut up. I've got some hard ones. I set you guys up with some easy ones here. I could have gone with, I had a whole list of Alan Alda, Bill Cosby, and Walter Matthau. Who knew they were in a movie together? Or Ted Danson, Zooey Deschanel, and Elizabeth Moss. They were in a movie together. But I'm going to go with something more from the 70s. Al Pacino. John Cazale. I think I'm pronouncing that right?
Well, if you can't pronounce it, I don't.
Well, he played Fredo. So.
Oh, I already know what it is.
I know what it is. Dog Day Afternoon.
Yep.
You don't even want to know that.
I said Dog Day Afternoon. He's like, I love that movie. Yeah.
I think it was Fredo's last movie. Died of a heart attack or something after that.
Yeah.
All right. But can you guess the other person I was going to list? Probably not.
Does it matter?
No, Carol Kane. All right. Anyway.
Oh,
okay. I'll go ahead and give you the harder one then. Alan Alda, Bill Cosby, Walter Matthau, 1978 movie. Who knew those legends of TV comedy would come together?
Four Seasons.
That's a good guess, because Alan Alda wasn't in a lot of movies, but
Alan Alda, Walter Matthau, and
Bill Cosby.
It has to be some kind of generic thing where they're
Richard Pryor was also in this movie. Oddly enough.
Richard Pryor. Bingo, Bungo, the baseball movie.
I like how you're coming up with some names of some movies. It was called California Suite.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, see, you actually saw that movie.
I did see it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, that was my bonus one.
All right. Let's do. This is one I had written down.
This is the first person that gets it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam Neill.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum. Matt Damon.
Jeff Goldblum and Matt Damon.
This was like a trick question. It's not a trick question, but it's a.
Who else was it?
It's a fairly current movie. Sam Neill.
Sam Neill.
Jeff Goldblum. Matt Damon.
Well, it couldn't be the Jurassic World 2, right?
No, he's not in. Sam Neill's not in Jurassic.
What's that movie where he was
Thor
shrunk?
Ragnarok.
Hey, you got it!
Finally got something. Woo! Didn't get shut out, Jack.
Yeah, you still lost.
Sure, but
Here's
but
another-
really, I kind of won.
sticking to that kind of same people.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, Robin Williams.
Julianne Moore and Robin Williams.
What was the other person again?
Jeff Goldblum, Julianne Moore, Robin Williams.
But Jeff Goldblum, Robin Williams, man. What decade?
90s. Late 90s.
Patch Adams.
Nope.
I don't know.
No clue.
9 months.
9 months?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
Oh, you need to see that, Jack. It's a good one.
With Hugh.
Hugh Grant.
Yeah, Hugh Grant's like the lead in that.
I have seen that. Okay.
Yeah. So Julianne Moore's the pregnant girl. Jeff Goldblum's her. It's Hugh Grant's best friend is Jeff Goldblum.
Okay.
And Robin Williams is the doctor.
All right. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. John Goodman,
Roseanne.
John Turturro, Steve Buscemi.
Big Lebowski.
There you go. Yeah, I was trying to play around that for a long time because I was like, oh, should I do Monsters, Inc. or should I do, I had much of them.
Steve Martin.
Okay.
Martin Short.
And who? JJ? Three Amigos.
I thought that would be a really great example. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like so obvious.
Look up here! Look up here! Look up here!
It's infamous. That means he's inside of famous.
He's so famous. He's infamous.
My little buttercup
is the sweetest spider. Great. It's interesting. I told you guys, like, I'm not sure if I made the podcast or not, but I bought that Randy Newman 30 years of. It's been out of print for 20 years, but it's interesting to hear Randy Newman sing the demos of all those songs because he wrote the Three Amigos theme, he wrote the My Little Buttercup, and he wrote Blue.
The Joe the Volcano song that you were singing?
No, but Arizona Moon keep shining. That one. So it's interesting to hear him sing those songs. You're like, oh,
Rough Cuts.
Yeah.
Rough Cuts. Is that it? Are we done here?
Sure.
Yeah. Pour out some more of that nut juice and let her rip.
Congrats, Nick, on winning the trivia.
Yay, me!
Hey guys, let's do this trivia game that I really like.
It is fun. Was it not fun?
It was a challenge.
I'm sure that there's people out there like JP that's out there who got every single film and is probably shaking his head at all of us.
Well, I can get them too after I listen to the podcast.
Yeah, if you listen, yeah. And I'm sure if Scott listened on a tit for tat basis, he would know all these films as well.
Scott, who?
No, he doesn't listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's our show for today. Maybe Chris will be back next week. Chris is in. I don't want to say what Chris is doing.
He's selling his nut juice.
Yeah, gotta make a living.
His nut juice wears, just like I was yesterday or last week.
He is fat Chris Pratt, so I mean, he can get away with it.
Anyway. That's our show for today. If you'd like to help the show, you go to Amazon.com/JayandJack or JayandJack.com/Amazon. I'm not really sure what it is. Just go to JayandJack.com. Button on there says Shop Amazon. Every little bit helps. I'm trying to get my daughter who just had a baby. She shops Amazon almost every day. She goes, I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
I go, thanks for the help. Thanks for the support.
I will say that what Chris suggested to me, I did it immediately after listening to this podcast. I went to the website on my phone. And then there's a little button where I can make it kind of its own little bookmark favorite, basically. So I can just use that as it actually becomes its own little app icon. So I can just click on that so that when I'm shopping, or I can shop through the Amazon app. And then when I go to checkout, I can always.
Yeah, I don't like to beg, but come on. Almost every one of our listeners shops Amazon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to keep paying for this awesome talent.
Awesome.
I mean, Matt.
But there's other ways you can get
Matt, Nick, and Chris, their contracts up at the end of the year. So
I am worried about that contract. I hate to go into negotiations, from a low place. So it's always better to have the high ground, right, Anakin?
The rate is.
But like Matt just said, you could give us a 5-star review. You can tell a friend, hey, listen to this podcast. It's long, but you can listen to it.
Should I have given you that one, Matt? Peter Mayhew, Harrison Ford, B. Arthur.
Yeah, that would have been a good one. So,
the Christmas special.
The Christmas special. Oh, yeah, that would have been great. So it would have been better if you would have gone with some of the other no names that are on there too. So
Chewbacca. If you'd like to help us out, you can become a patron.
That's Peter Mayhew.
No. Poor Peter. I'm sorry. No use Chewbacca. I forgot where's that. Oh,
you were gonna thank our patrons.
Become a patron.
We're making this happen.
We'll take up $1,000 to $5,000. We're still trying to get that $5,000 mark.
We are
still working on it. You can go to patreon.com/JayandJack or just go to jayandjack.com. Little button says become a patron. And we love all our patrons. But that's time I'm going to thank 5 patrons: Tack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, Ed the Letter Carrier, and Eckhart Rickner Glaffeler. Thanks for doing what you do, and thanks for all our patrons, and thanks for everyone for listening. And do we have a winner for the pink taco drawing?
I think we do, right?
Yeah,
we do.
Nick, who's the winner of this wonderful drawing?
Oh my God, it's beautiful! It's beautiful. Look at that.
That is one lovely pink taco.
Is that velvet?
No, it's just Sharpie on paper. Can't get more fancy than that.
So, Kayla, congratulations on winning your pink taco. Forward your address to Matt, I guess, or email the whatever our email is.
Call in.
marriedmanpodcast@gmail.com. I have not checked that in a while, so maybe I hope there's not a bunch of emails there. marriedmanpodcast@gmail.com.
Gmail.
Kaylee, you could actually just message me directly with your address. I swear I won't send anything else but this pink taco. And if any other listeners would like any other crazy drawings that I do during the show, feel free to give us a review. I swear. It's not going to come with any kind of almond juice.
Nothing goes good with the pink taco like some nut juice.
I think I need to start working on that next drawing. So anyway. Great show, guys. This was 1 in a million, I think.
It really was, yeah.
Hasta luego and goodbye.
See ya.